Right now in this last example, we're given the graph and we're asked to find the equation of that parabola. The graph, I only have two pieces of information, not even that much. I have the vertex and one other point on the graph, and it doesn't matter what the other point is, I just need one of them. Now the vertex, remember, is going to be the h and k coordinates. And so really all I need is the structure now, the formula. What I notice is that this graph is opening to the right, so horizontally, which means the y is the variable being squared and the x is the linear variable. So when I write out the structure of this formula, it's going to be y minus k squared, k always goes with the y being squared, equals, well, it's plus or minus 4a times x minus h, x being the linear term because that's the direction in which this graph is going. The other thing to keep in mind is that because this is opening to the right, I really don't need both the plus and minus there, I just need the plus. Okay, we're going to have the positive value. Opening left would be negative. And so then I need to plug in my values. Well, h and k are -4 and 1 respectively, so I can put those in. I get y minus 1 squared equals 4a times x minus -4 is plus 4. There's a double negative on that. Okay. And then, and then this other point is just an arbitrary xy point on the graph. It could be any other point on the graph, but I chose -2, -1. So I'm going to use those as the xy coordinates in order to find a. Notice there are currently 3 variables. If I fill in the x and the y, there will only be 1, and that's what we need to solve for. So I put a -1 in for y, equals 4a times, and then I put a -2 in for the x. A is the only variable left. I can solve for that, and that will give me everything I need for this equation. Let's see, this gives me -2 squared equals 4a times, that's 2. -2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So it's 4 equals 8a, and of course if you divide both sides by the 8, you get 1/2 as the value for a. And so now I take the a along with the h and the k, I plug them into my formula now that I have the right structure for the formula, and my final answer should be y minus 1 squared equals, now if I do 1/2 times 4, that gives me 2. So I have 2 there, and then an x plus 4. There's the equation for this parabola. Now I can also find other things. I can find, this is all the question is asking for, but I could also find the focus, the directrix, the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is obviously horizontal line running through -1. So if I just jotted a couple of these things down, the axis of symmetry is at y equal, I'm sorry, I don't know if I said -1, +1. I feel like I said negative there. Y equals +1. The focus would be, the a value is 1/2. The focus would be 1/2 unit to the right of the vertex. So that would be at -3.5, 1. Same height, but half a unit to the right. The directrix is half unit to the left. So the directrix would be a vertical line at -4.5. So it'd be x equals -4.5. And then of course, from that I could find the endpoints. If my focus is here, I could find the endpoints of the lattice rectum as well. And they would be located, or I could find those, let's see, simply by adding 2 of these, 2 a values, adding 2 a values and subtracting 2 a values from the focus. And so the lattice rectum, I'll call it LR for short here, the endpoints of that would be, let's see, 2 times a half is 1, so I just add 1 and subtract 1. I guess that would be at negative 3.5 comma 2, that's adding 1, and negative 3.5 comma 0, that'd be subtracting 1. So the endpoints of the lattice rectum would be those 2 points. Again, this was kind of unnecessary, it's just additional information. I thought it was kind of interesting, but really what we're looking for in this problem is simply the equation of that parabola.